Yo, welcome to For the Record, aka On the Cusp podcast, aka Pennies for the Dollar Entertainment, and my LLC, Price Unlimited. Is nice to see you guys on this beautiful Sunday. I had a few topics that I wanted to touch on. One being the dynamic between the man and the woman relationship nowadays. I'm not gonna sit here and, blame one gender over another because specifically talking about black or African American culture and the dynamic between the male and the female. But one thing, like as far as my experience here lately, pertaining to females and talking to multiple people, smart, older, mature people. And I listen to both sides, both sides of the story. But getting to the point, some things that I've seen that I want to touch on is nowadays women are more attracted to the financial more so than the individual, the character of a man, and I had talked about this previously in another video where I said both parties have to be held accountable, but I feel like women don't be held more accountable, don't really be held accountable as much as men are. You know what I'm saying? Because and the reason why I say this is because women are smart, right? Very, very smart, and we've been told from a very early age that women are more mature and smarter than men and smarter than boys. As we grow older or when we're adolescents. So with that being said, when I talk to, women in person and, I've also used the dating apps, on the dating apps and, I get the conversation and every time is, hey, can you DoorDash me a meal or can you buy me a meal? The standard is nowadays, let's be friends, first, and but you can take me out to dinner and pay for everything. The first date. So when I install a game plan for when I talk to a female, I want to go to for example maybe Starbucks, PJs. I want to go to like a Whole Food Stores, library. And I want to sit down and talk. I want to sit down and talk in a more intimate, more quiet place, and I get shunned for that because the standard nowadays for women is to take them out on a date, pay for their meals, and go from there. But what I ran into, I've taken women out on dates, pay for the meal and everything, and I haven't heard it. I don't get anything from it. I don't get anything out of it. So why am I wasting my money constantly taking women out on dates and stuff like that if at the end of the day we're not gonna be in contact with each other afterwards? So I feel like when I establish this the plan for myself to be comfortable, a lot of women they dismiss me. So at the end of the day, what does us going to a quiet establishment, what is that, what's so wrong with that? Why do we have to spend money? Why can't we go to a park? Because we still get to know each other at the end of the day, but that's the standard that has been established. That the being friends first has been established in this whole culture. A lot of people try to set timetables on when they want to be friends, and then they want to develop into over time will give a 3 month or a 6 month rule, and then go from there. I understand that there's no guarantees from doing it a certain way, but my onus is going with the flow. I like to go with the flow. So what does that mean? If I like you, you like me, we both agree on what we're looking for. Why are we putting a cap on the potential? And then also another thing that I wanted to talk about is the good guys, so to speak. With the thing being good guys finish last, and I agree with that. I feel like I'm a good guy. I feel like I have a lot to offer. You know, I have love to offer. I know my love is different. So I remember they had shows about millionaires, like, you know, millionaires, men and females alike, trying to find love, and they did this on you know, a television show. So I feel like you know, that translates to more successful people. If, let's say, if a regular female talking to you know, a multi-millionaire rap entertainer, you know, whatever, movie, whatever, sports, I feel like they not gonna have the same, you know, standards as they would a regular Joe. I feel like they expect the rich person, you know, the rich man, to take them out on a date. You know, especially if they know you got money. But actually, in actuality, if they talk to a rich man, they gonna let that man, you know, dictate or come up with something. They might not even expect them to, you know, pay for their meal, or maybe they don't realize that this is a millionaire, good person, good guy, and they dismiss him for whatever reason. Oh, he's boring. A successful man, mind you, he's boring. What does boring look like? Or he doesn't have the flashy jewelry. He doesn't have the fat, you know, watch. He has a nice car, but it doesn't look like he's a successful, like a Maserati or a Porsche or, you know, Rolls Royce, whatever. So nowadays, I feel like women is more wants the making ready, but they don't want to. They want their cake and eat it too. In this dating pool, in this dating game nowadays, young and old alike. Now to switch courses as far as the man has played a part in that, because he's putting the light on throwing money on, you know what I'm saying, spending money on these women, you know, have the jewelry and, you know, calling women out their name, HOEs, and, you know, they all up on me, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna get this one, plotting in a bad way. They act like they follow the standard that these women are setting. They're gonna be their best friend. The woman could be dating somebody else, but they still talking to this guy, and he gonna play his part to the best of his ability, not knowing this guy probably married. You got kids at the house, but the woman don't even know that. Boom, they have a baby together. And then he's like, you know, I got this going on, or she finds out that he has this going on, and then he ends up leaving, doing a dash on the woman who he just had a kid with. He doesn't want to claim that kid for whatever reason, because he don't want to mess up what he got at home. But these are the guys that most of the women are attracted to, these so-called players who play the part. But when they get what they want, they doing a dash, or they disrespectful, they abusive. Oh, now why did I have a kid? I don't even like him. Or, you know, these women, they have a whole gang of kids. They get older, and they're like, I want to, you know, I'm okay with the so-called quote unquote boring guy. You know what I'm saying? So we have to, like I mentioned earlier, we have to have accountability, men and women alike, with ourselves, especially in the black people culture. We have to have accountability, period. Because these other cultures, they have structure in, you know, how things supposed to be about. Why can't we have structure in our culture? You know, I don't want to drag this on. I just had to get this off my chest. You know, please feel free, talk in the comments. Tell me, guys, what you guys think. You know, your opinion about everything. What you think about my thoughts. And let's have a conversation. I definitely welcome the conversation. Yeah, and we can talk. You know, you can talk from the female side, you can talk from the male side, so we can have an understanding and come together as a culture, as a unit, as us, as a singular unit. So with that being said, y'all enjoy y'all Sunday. Once again, for the record, aka On the Cuss, aka Pennies on the Dollar Entertainment, Price Unlimited LLC. Y'all have a great Sunday.